Before we start, if this moves you, please subscribe and leave a like. Every bit helps. Support links in the comments. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
I used to move through every room like something unresolved, like a question without patience, like a knot that won't be solved. Always reaching for the next thing, always braced for what comes after, filling every silence with the noise I mistook for laughter. But the river doesn't hurry, and it still finds the sea. And somewhere in that thought I started finding me. Still warm, still here, still whole, not waiting anymore, not playing a role. I used to think that peace was just the absence of the storm. Now I know it's something you grow into, like a worn and favorite coat. I made my peace with roads I took and roads I didn't take, with the choices that I'd change and the ones I wouldn't make. There's a kind of freedom living on the other side of regret, when you've held it long enough to know it hasn't beaten you yet. And the things I can't undo have made me who I'm standing as, and I'm standing pretty easy on that ground. Still water, still here, still whole, not waiting anymore, not playing a role. I used to think that peace was just the absence of the storm. Now I know it's something you grow into, like a worn and favorite coat. It didn't come from fixing everything that once was broken. It came from leaving certain battles beautifully unspoken, from learning that surrender isn't losing, it's arriving at the shore you didn't know you'd been working toward your whole life. Still water, still here, still mine. Every year has made the edges of this life more fine. I used to think that stillness was a thing I had to earn. Now I wear it like the light I finally stopped trying to return. The deepest water is the water that has learned to rest. BPM 69, you've been standing in for years. I kept my brightness turned down low so nobody would squint, dim the parts of me that shone in case someone got the hint that I was more than I was showing, more than I let through. Hid the best of what I had to make the room more comfortable for you. couldn't spend. The light I stopped hiding is the truest thing I own. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't need a throne. I spent so many years keeping it small and unremarkable. Now I let it fill the room, and I don't apologize at all. I watched the loud ones take the space and told myself that's fine. Convinced myself that wanting to be seen was some kind of design flaw, some fault of mine. But dimming down your nature doesn't make you any smaller. It just makes the room a little darker and your voice a little softer. And the world doesn't need another light that's learned to disappear. It needs the one you've been protecting all these years. The light I stopped hiding is the truest thing I own. It doesn't ask for permission, it doesn't need a throne. I spent so many years keeping it small and unremarkable. Now I let it fill the room, and I don't apologize at all. There's nothing selfish in the shining, nothing arrogant in the glow. Some lights were always meant to show somebody else the way to go. I've known people in the dark who needed what I had, and I was over in the corner keeping careful what I gave. The light I stopped hiding has been waiting all along, patient as a candle in a window burning on. I spent so many years afraid of what the brightness might undo. Now I let it out completely, and I give it back to you. The kindest thing a light can do is simply refuse to go out. I showed up to my own life like a guest who wasn't sure. Stood a little sideways, kept one hand on the door. Gave my half attention to the things that needed all of me. Saved my real self for a someday that I couldn't clearly see. But someday has a way of being always just ahead, and I woke up to the distance between living and half dead. No more half life, no more half here, no more saving the good dishes for a day that won't appear. I've been giving everyone the edited version of my time. No more half life, the whole thing's mine. I half believed in dreams I never let myself pursue. Half committed to the mornings, half present to the view. Half in love with my own life, just to stay on track. But permission is a currency I'm done waiting to receive. The only one who has to authorize this life is me. No more half-life, no more half-here, no more saving the good dishes for a day that won't appear. I've been giving everyone the edited version of my time. No more half-life. The whole thing's mine. Oh, I've sat at sunsets thinking I should feel more than I did. Kept the volume low on joy like some well-practiced kid. But I'm not practicing anymore, and this is not a rehearsal. The life in front of me deserves my full and unreserved arrival. No more half-life, no more half-seen, no more standing at the edge of what this life could mean. I used to save myself for something I couldn't define. No more half-life. I'm walking in, the whole thing's mine. The good dishes were always meant for an ordinary Tuesday. I've been so many versions of a person, almost right, almost what they needed, almost worth the fight, almost comfortable in my own skin on a good day, almost honest in the things I didn't quite know how to say, but almost has a way that only gets heavier with time. And one morning I woke up done with almost, done with the almost life. Finally me, not the version I rehearsed, not the one who always put her own name last, and everyone else is first. Finally standing in the middle of my own life without apology. Finally me. There's a photograph from years ago, I couldn't look it straight. Something in the eyes I'd learned to keep behind a gate. But I found it on a Sunday when the light was coming through, and for the first time in a long time I said, I remember you. And the distance between then and now felt like a road worth walking, not a loss to grieve, but a story finally worth telling. Finally me, not the careful edited version, not person I was always meant to be was always worth becoming. Finally me, and it feels like coming home, like a song I always knew the words to, but it never sung alone. Finally standing in the center of this one and only life. Finally, finally me. The longest journey any of us takes is back to who we always were.
Gave away so much to keep the peace intact. Opinions, mornings, versions of myself I can't get back. But somewhere in the giving there were things I held on to, small and stubborn seeds of who I always knew I knew. They weren't loud enough to notice in the noise of all those years, but they were growing in the quiet, underneath the smiles and tears. All that I kept is all that I am, the thread that ran through everything, the original plan. I bent but I didn't break, I drifted but came back. All that I kept was enough to find my way from that. A journal in a drawer that nobody ever read, a song I hummed in private, certain things left unsaid. The part of me that watched from somewhere slightly to the side, taking careful notes on everything I couldn't say out loud. That witness never left me, never traded me away, and I'm grateful for that quiet keeper every single day. All that I kept is all that I am, the thread that ran through everything, the original plan. I bent but I didn't break, I drifted but came back. All that I kept was enough to find my way from that. To anyone who's wondering if anything survived the years of compromise and caretaking, of swallowing the tears, something in you kept the flame behind the hand that hid it. You'll know it when you feel it. You never really lost it. All that I kept is all that I needed, more than I imagined, more than I conceded. The thread that ran through everything was stronger than I knew. All that I kept has brought me here, and here is finally true. The self you protected in the quiet years was worth every every bit of keeping. I used to wait to speak until the room got quiet. Used to choose my words so carefully. Nobody tried, nobody pushed back, nobody looked too long. I kept my real opinions in a place nobody'd find them. But a voice that goes unheard long enough starts to wonder if it ever had a sound. And I got tired of wondering. I'm louder now than I was then. Not angry, not demanding, just present again. I've been whispering in rooms that couldn't hear me anyway. I'm done with whispering. I'm done with halfway. There were tables where I laughed at things that weren't funny. Rooms where I agreed just to keep everything sunny. I was fluent in the language of the almost said. Full conversations happening only in my head. But words that never leave you start to cost you. And I've been paying that price long enough now. I'm louder now than I was then. Not angry, not demanding, just present again. I've been whispering in rooms that couldn't hear me anyway. I'm done with whispering. I'm done with halfway. It's not about the volume, it's about the willingness to let the real thing out without rehearsing its forgiveness. I spent so long editing myself before I even spoke. Now I'm saying the first true thing and letting go the smoke. I'm louder now and it feels like breathing, like a window finally opened in a room I'd been leaving. I've been whispering in rooms that wouldn't hear me anyway. I found my voice again, and it sounds like me today. The truest things I ever said were the ones I stopped swallowing. Doesn't anymore. One plate on the table, one glass of red wine, one candle I lit just because
because the light looked fine. No one to consult about the music or the hour. No performance, no pretending, just me and the power. And I waited for the loneliness to walk through the door, but it stood outside a moment, and then came no more. The table I set for one is the most honest thing I own. Not a consolation, not a wound, just coming home. I used to need an audience to make a moment real. Now the quiet is the feeling I was always meant to feel. I used to fill the silence with whatever noise was near. A television, a telephone, a reason to appear. Busy enough to miss myself, crowded enough to hide from the person who'd been knocking patient from inside. But the knocking got too gentle to keep ignoring, and I opened up the door one unremarkable morning. The table I set for one is the most honest thing I own. Not a consolation, not a wound, just coming home. I used to need an audience to make a moment real. Now the quiet is the feeling I was always meant to feel. This isn't giving up on love or locking out the world. It's knowing who you are before the next chapter unfurls. I've sat at crowded tables, feeling utterly alone. Now one chair and one candle feel more full than I have known. The table I set for one is the most honest thing I've found. Not an ending, not a settling, just solid ground. I used to think that solitude was something to outrun. Now I light the candle slowly and I savor everyone. Some of the best company I've ever had has been my own.
Thought by 50 I'd have figured out the ending. Thought the story would be settled, all the loose ends bending into something clean and certain, something I could name. But 50 came in sideways and it didn't look the same. It didn't look like stopping, didn't look like over. It looked like standing in a field in early October, with the whole sky wide and waiting, and no one asking why. 50 and free finish line I thought I'd barely cross. It's the first day of a life I finally wanted, and I'm not looking back to count the cost. The things I held so tightly slowly lost their grip. The need to please, the need to prove, the white knuckle trip. I wake up now and choose the day before it chooses. I've made enough mistakes to know what's worth the bruises. It didn't come from having all the answers. It came from being done with all the wrong questions. 50 and free is not what I expected, not the finish line I thought I'd barely cross. It's the first day of a life I finally wanted, and I'm not looking back to count the cost. 20 was hungry, 30 was proving, 40 was holding on while everything kept moving. But 50 walked in quiet, like it owned the room, like it had been waiting for me to make some room. 50 and free, I'll say it like I mean it, like someone who's been lost and finally found the road. It's the first day of the rest of whatever I decide now, and for the first time the thought doesn't feel like a load. Turns out the best years don't announce themselves, they just arrive.
Used to walk into a room already explaining, already smaller than the space, already half complaining. Sorry for my timing, sorry for my thinking, sorry for the space I took up even while I was shrinking. But an apology you didn't earn is just a habit, and I've been breaking habits one by one this season. I don't apologize anymore for being here, for taking up the light, for making myself clear. I spent so many years excusing my existence, I forgot that showing up was never wrong. I said sorry to the weather, sorry to the wall, sorry when they bumped me in a crowded hall. Swallowed my opinion with a smile and a nod, made myself invisible and called it being broad. But silence isn't grace when it costs you everything. I've been practicing a different kind of reckoning. I don't apologize taking up the light, for making myself clear. I spent so many years excusing my existence. I forgot that showing up was never wrong. There's a difference between kindness and erasure, between letting someone in and losing all your borders. I can hold the door and still walk through it. I can love you and still take up my own space. I don't apologize anymore for being here, for speaking up too loud, for making things clear. I spent so many years rehearsing my smallness. I almost missed the life that was mine all along. The kindest thing I ever did was finally stop saying sorry.
You forgot you kept. I answered the daughter, then wife, and mother wore every name like it belonged to another. Kept mine in a drawer like a thing out of season. Forgot I had reasons that were only my reasons. And the mirror kept asking a question I'd been avoiding. The face I have recognized, a life I'd been borrowing. I wanna hear my own name and my own voice, spoken without permission, spoken by choice. I've been living in the margins of someone else's story. This time I walked back into my own. I know every landmark on everybody's road, carried everybody's map, everybody's load. But somewhere between the giving and the guiding, I left myself standing at a crossroads undecided. I'm not erasing all the love that shaped me. I'm just reclaiming what was always waiting. I wanna hear my own name and my own voice, spoken without permission, spoken by choice. I've been living in the margins of someone else's story. It's time I walked back into my own. There's a woman, there's a man in the photograph from years ago. Eyes wide open, full of something I let go. I've been chasing that look in the faces all around me, when all this time that look was here inside me. I finally hear my own name in my own voice. Not an apology, a choice. I've been living in the margins long enough now. walking back into my own. Funny how your name sounds different when you mean it.
I used to move my chair so you'd have more room, pulling my elbows, lower my voice, leave before noon. I learned to laugh at jokes I didn't find funny, learned to need less, ask for less, cost less than money. But somewhere in the middle of all that shrinking, I caught myself disappearing, and I started thinking, there's room enough for me at this table, room enough to breathe, room enough to stay. I've been folding myself into corners for the very last time today. I've worn polite like a coat in the August heat, kept my opinions quiet on every crowded street. But the years have a way of asking what you traded, and I've got answers now that won't be understated. I'm not looking for a fight, not looking for an audience. I'm just done with all this quiet disappearance. There's room enough for me at this table, room enough to breathe, room enough to stay. I've been folding myself into corners for the very last time today. It wasn't one moment, it was 1,000 small surrenders, a lowered hand, a swallowed word, a fire down to embers. But embers don't go out, they wait, and I've been waiting long enough. There's room enough for me at this table, room enough to speak, room enough to stay. I spent so long folding myself into corners, but I'm taking up my space today. The chair fits just right when you stop moving it